All right, we're on the air. How you guys doing? Um, I was originally just going to review this with my webcam or whatever and edit it and put titles and shit on that, but um, I just felt like fuck it, let's just go live. I'm drinking. Who gives a fuck? Let's do it. I'm pretty drunk, so full disclosure, this review might not be up to the standards of, say, Ralphie or somebody like that who are, really taking shit super serious, but we're doing it anyway, so we're going to do it. As far as I understand, this is an expression that is going to soon disappear. So we're going to review it anyway. So we're going to be looking at Bowmore from Islay, their small batch expression. Apparently, this has been discontinued. It started in 2012 and it has been discontinued in 2017. So any of these you see are sort of the last that are out there on the market. It has been replaced by the Bowmore number one. If you and they have like a sort of charcoal gray color on the bottom here instead of the green. And I actually saw that over at the NSLC today when I picked this up. And I should probably pick that up because I think it's probably around the same price. This was about $60 in an NSLC for me. That's 60 Canadian. So this is super cheap. Probably around $30 to $40 really in any sensible country that doesn't taxes alcohol out of the fuck. Like this doesn't go crazy. So let's just see what it says on this. I did not do a super amount of research on this whiskey. Fully admit, I'm just kind of jumping into this kind of blind. So first thing I'll mention, it's only 40% alcohol by volume, so it's only 80 proof. So it's not your super fucking flavorful Scotch. You kind of, as soon as you see that, you're kind of expecting, okay, it's going to be at a certain level. So it says bourbon cask matured. This particular Bowmore started his journey from barley to bottle in the same way that all our whiskeys do, with the finest ingredients: water from the free-flowing Lagan River and malt that has been carefully smoked in our peat-fired kiln. The spirit is then left to mature in Bowmore's legendary number one vaults, which hints the name of the replacement for this. The oldest maturation warehouse in Scotland and the only one below sea level. It's here, deep inside Bowmore's dark, dank cellars, that our small batch distinguish itself, matured in a unique combination of both first and second fill bourbon casks before being brought back together. The result is a satisfyingly complex and richly rewarding. So there you go. It's a double cask kind of thing where the whiskey is basically split up, aged in two separate casks, and then put back together and basically blended together. But it's still single malt technically. So there you go. And they say here on the other side, this is the first Islay malt, widely acknowledged to be among the finest and most perfectly balanced whiskeys in the world. Bowmore's celebrated single malt has been distilled on the magical island of Islay, not really magic, off the west coast of Scotland ever since 1779. This makes Bowmore the first of Islay's 8 distilleries by chronology, certainly, and by taste too, many would say. That's in brackets. Produced the same way today as it has always been. Sometimes a subtle variation on a well-tried theme can lead to the creation of a very special release indeed in this small batch. So there you go. So this is disappearing, like I said, replaced by their number one. And no age statement on that as well. No age statement on this. I did a very small pre-functionary research on this, so I cannot determine what the age statement on this is. From initial whiffs of just smelling it, because I do have it poured out in the glass here, and I'm taking a little draw on it. I'm guessing 8 to 10 years, and that's just an amateur guess. I don't really know. Give you a look at the bottle here. There you go. That's what it looks like. So this is a dead whiskey, essentially. It's being replaced again, like I said, by the number one. So this is a useless review to a certain degree. If you can find it, there you go. Congratulations. Maybe, depending on what I think of it, it might be shit. So if you find it, maybe that's on you. But it's a nice little golden amber color. I don't think there's any sort of coloration involved in this. It is probably chill filtered, but whatever. All right, legs on the sides here. Pretty syrupy stuff. So we'll go right to aroma. Cheers. And of course, this is all peated. Bowmore has a reputation for having their scotches a lot less peated than, say, like your Lagavulins and your Laphroaigs and your Ardbegs. This is, from what I've read, more an introductory to Islay than the other ones. So we'll see what we think of this. We'll go into it, but so we're expecting some peat smoke here, or at least some vegetal peat presence. Maybe like sea salt character, iodine, things like that. Hoping that will come up in this aroma. But cheers. Ooh. So yeah, there's definitely that sort of smoky character to this. Peat, it does come through a little bit of peat reek. It's not super intense or anything like that. It's not punching you like a Laphroaig. It's not that subtle and incestuous, soaks into you kind of thing like Ardbeg. It's just a nice little subtle, pronounced sort of peat note. Totally highlighted by much more of a honey-based, like honeycomb kind of thing around it, sweetness coming out. A little bit of a spicy character to this. I can't quite pin down what spices I would say are in this as far as tasting notes. And again, people watching, if you're not familiar, I'm not saying these spices are actually in the whiskey, that they've been added. Like if I said, oh, smells like cinnamon, I'm not saying there's actually cinnamon in this. I'm just saying that's the sort of tasting notes, smelling aroma notes that I'm familiar with and what I sort of connect with this. But yeah, good smoky note here. A little bit of a briny sea side character to this, and a lot of sort of like a honeycomb kind of thing rounding around. Kind of a slight spicy kick, no alcohol, and 40%. I'm not expecting the alcohol to be intrusive at all in this. I'm kind of more expecting whatever flavor is here is going to be on the forefront on this. Although, higher alcohol, this would probably be a lot more flavorful. Just saying. Yeah, so it smells really good. Not super complex, but there's definitely some different notes going on here. So we'll go right to the taste. Cheers very much, guys. Thank you for watching. That's a strange one. I'm definitely getting the peat. there definitely is sort of a maritime sort of seaside character to this, like slightly kind of like a salty character. Much more honeycomb, but not super sweet. There's a chocolatey kind of flavor to this. I can't quite pin down what I'd say, like what kind of chocolate, but there is a sort of a chocolatey kind of resonance in the background of this. Very smooth. Body's kind of light. Yeah, it's nice. There's not a lot going on in it. This is kind of like an introductory Islay. I mean, if you're looking for an Islay that will sort of help kind of transition you to those bigger ones that are going to be like super punchy, this would be maybe one of the ones you want to jump on. I'd also like cite Talisker, although Talisker is not an Islay whiskey. Like something like this, something like Talisker, they have that smokiness, that sort of peat character to it, but it's not super aggressive. And it would sort of ease you into what you're about to, run into as soon as you like have your first quarter cask or something like this. This is very mild, not super complex on the taste. The aroma is actually much more complex than the taste on this one. Yeah, honestly, there's not a lot going on in this. It's kind of disappointing. It's kind of actually too smooth. There's not a lot going on. The aftertaste is great. Great sort of like slightly smoky character, malty, a little bit of chocolate fudge, more barrel character coming out. But like the idea that this is promoting the fact that it's like two different versions of bourbon casks. So you got your first fill and your second fill, and then they're blended together basically, and it's supposed to be super special. It really isn't. It's kind of bullshit. I'll call bullshit on that. I'm trying really hard to get stuff out of this. I'm sorry, guys. This is probably lingering on. I don't know how long I've been going now. Yeah, it's so smooth, so easy. I mean, I'm kind of thinking this bottle is not going to last me long. Like, I've still got a couple other bottles of different whiskeys on the go. I've still got the Ardbeg Corey Vrecken sitting there. I still got like half a bottle of that or more. I've got I still have the Anok Cutter. I have a couple bottles of bourbon just sitting back there that I'm still like trying to drain down. So, goddamn. But yeah, I think this one might take precedent. It might just be like the easy drinking fucking scotch that I can throw down any night and not worry about it. That's kind of what this is. It's very kind of mild, very bland. Like there's smoky character, but honestly, Johnny Walker Black has much more of a smoky character to it than this does, and much more complex taste and flavor. It's kind of disappointing. It really is. I can kind of see why Bowmore might have wanted to cycle this out for something else. I'm actually considering picking up the Bowmore #1 at this point, because this isn't that good, but maybe the Bowmore #1 is better. Maybe it's a better expression of this kind of idea, but as far as this goes, this is more of a gimmick than anything else, and I gotta say, I'm kind of glad it's gone to the wayside, that it's actually a dead brand now for them. But Bowmore small batch, it's not terrible. There's nothing aggressively terrible about this. It's just super bland. So I'm going to have to sit at like a B- for it. I think that's where I'm going to sit. Yeah, B- sounds good. So if you can still find this, like, I'm sure there's plenty of these still out there, the Bowmore small batch. Don't expect, like, if you're familiar with Islay stuff, don't expect big Islay here, because it's not here. It's very mild, but at the same time, don't expect too much, complexity in the palate or anything like that. The aroma is fairly complex. There's a lot of good stuff going on there. Taste, not so much. It's much more kind of just a light-bodied, slightly smoky Islay that deserves to die. It really does. This is weak sauce compared to the other Islay stuff. I assume this is probably even weak sauce compared to most of the other Bowmore stuff. I can't even remember at this point if I've had any other Bowmores. I don't think I have. But if this is my first sort of shot at a Bowmore, not impressed. Sad to say, but again, this brand is apparently dead, so I might try a couple of the others. There was another Bowmore at the NSLC that was 100 and something. Probably not going to try that one. I might try the Bowmore #1 and see what I think of that one. I think that one's probably similar in price range, but who knows? But yeah, B-. Oh, excuse me. B- for Bowmore small batch. I'm just going to take a quick check here and see if we have any comments. We'll see. Because I know there's 2 people watching right now. So... Redbeard. Hey, man. It's 1:19 a.m. here. Isn't like 3 a.m. there. No, it's 2:20 here, Redbeard. So you were working tonight, I believe. So you couldn't make the Colt 45 and the after show. So there you go. But yeah, no, it's 2:21 here right now, basically. But thanks for watching, Redbeard. All right, so I'm going to close this down. So cheers, everybody who was watching, and cheers, everyone who will watch this later. Bowmore, small batch. I'm a little drunk. Again, like I said at the beginning of this thing, I'm kind of drunk. But still, it's not that great. It's just passable. B-. Cheers. Have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good afternoon. Whatever the fuck you are at wherever you are. Be good to one another. And we'll see you again in the next whiskey review.